going to be making my favorite Italian dessert, a gluten-free cannoli. So first, we're going to start with the shell ingredients, and you're going to mix your gluten-free flour, some xanthan gum, confectioner sugar. So you have your xanthan gum, your confectioner sugar, and your gluten-free flour first, and then you're going to finish it with a cinnamon and kosher salt mixture. So the reason we do this is we want all of our dry ingredients first. Just mix it around so it's evenly distributed. And then we have unsalted butter, which you're going to want room temperature. Pretty dry mixture. So we're also going to add some lukewarm water. Just mix it really good, get all the clumps out. And just so you know, the ingredients will be on the link below. Like I said, you really want to get this mixed in really good. If it still looks too dry, you can add a little bit more water. Try and get this mixed before we add any more. Really important to have that butter room temperature, because it'll make it easier to mix. I think we're good. You can smell the cinnamon, it smells so good. Okay, so we're just going to let this sit for now. And just cover it while we make the best part of the cannoli, the cream. Okay, so now for the best part, the cannoli cream. I always do my cannoli cream filling, I let it sit overnight in a strainer with a cheesecloth. So you always want to have the cheesecloth lining the strainer so that way it gets out all the moisture, because that's just going to make it too watery and you don't want that. First we're going to add the ragout. Okay, so now that we have our ragout, we're going to add in our sugar. Also our vanilla extract. And just to make sure it's fully blended, we're going to use a mixer for this. Just put it on a really low speed. Okay, so now that those three ingredients are together, we're going to add in our chocolate chips. We're going to mix, and then we're going to add the whipping cream. Okay, so now we're going to add the whipping cream. The reason why I put this in last is if it's in with everything else, it's going to come out too fluffy like whipped cream. So you'll notice as you start mixing this, it's going to start to get a little bit lighter and more fluffy, which is good. That's what you want. Just be careful of over mixing. you can see right now that it's a little liquidy, so you just want to get it to the point, like right now, just in a few seconds where it starts whipping, like so. Just going to give it one more last turn here. Okay, so now that it's at the point where it's just starting to get thick enough without becoming too whipped cream-like, we're going to go ahead and we're going to set it back in the refrigerator to let it chill while we finish making. Alright, so now we're going to make our shells. Just going to grab a little bit of the dough. Say like about this size. I'm just going to put it like this. We're going to want to create a nice circle. Nice and thin, so you don't want the shell too thick. Okay, so you definitely want to get these cannoli tubes. This is going to be essential to make the cannoli shell. So once you have your circle, you're going to put your shell tube right in the center and just kind of mold it around the tube. It's always best to put a little flour on your plate first so it doesn't stick. And pretty much you just want to make sure that the dough is even all around the tube. You don't want any areas thicker than others. Now that the dough is wrapped around the tube perfectly and evenly, we're going to go deep fry it. So now that we're ready to go ahead and fry up our shells, just make sure that your vegetable oil is really hot before you go ahead and place the cannoli in the tube and the pan. Okay, so you can hear it getting hot. You see some little bubbles starting to form. So we're just going to gently place the tube in the oil and let it cook up. So while we're letting our cannoli shells cool off, we're going to go ahead and stuff our pastry bags with our cannoli cream. Now you can get these pastry bags at any baking shop, cooking shop, but I got this one at Serve Table along with all of my other cooking utensils that I'm using here today. Just want to keep this open, kind of pour it all in. And you should probably let your shells cool for a good 15 to 20 minutes because the metal tubing gets pretty hot. So now that the pastry bag is filled with your cream, you're going to go ahead and put it back in the refrigerator because we really want this really cool when we go ahead and put it in our shells. Now these will probably make enough for at least a dozen cannolis to 2 dozen depending on how big you make your cannoli shells. If you want mini cannolis, then obviously it's going to yield more per serving. If you want bigger cannolis, then it's probably going to be anywhere between 12 to 15 cannoli shells. So now that our shells are fully cooled and our cream is nice and chilled, we're going to go ahead and snip the end of the pastry bag. Now make sure when you're ready to remove your tube from your shell that it's nice and cooled off and that you're really gentle so the shell does not break. So now the fun part, filling the shell. Now just make sure that you kind of put the tip of the bag inside the shell and just gently fill it and then repeat on the side. I always make extra filling because I like the shell to be filled from the center to the end. So now, finishing touch is our powdered sugar. And we're just going to sprinkle that gently over. And there you have it, a gluten-free cannoli.